Let's go. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and I hope you all lied to your family about how Bitcoin's doing. That's what I did. Well, I didn't lie. I told them that Bitcoin was up 93,000. They were very happy for me. It's not a lie. It's technically true. After last year, hopefully nobody was mad at you guys at Thanksgiving this year. You know, last year was very exciting. In November, December, we saw everything pumping. Probably we're excited now into this Thanksgiving. Sentiment's a little different. We got rugged for now. Fingers crossed. I have high hopes for 2026, even if they're misguided. You may notice I have the blue shades on again. Why? I don't know. I just feel like wearing them. But I appreciate you guys tuning in here today on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. We're full of turkey and beer and football, and it's time to chill. Chart's not doing much. We did have a perfect prediction from Wednesday. Talked about 93.5 or 93.3 hitting. Bitcoin reaching exactly to those levels. Reversed for now. But we're going to get into more charts here. We're just warming up. If you could, tap that screen. Subscribe, follow, share, whatever platform you're on. Help engage with the live. That will help YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, all the platforms we're on. It will help the algorithm out. It'll push it to more people. Say what's up if you're here. I see people over on TikTok. It's our first time live on TikTok in a while. Mr. Sniper Gold, people joining but not saying anything, as I feel like TikTok is. Before we get started into the charts, the trades, the analysis, I want to begin the stream as we've been doing with a really quick, what is this stream? What are we doing here? I have been a live trader on YouTube for 7 years. I have covered crypto since 2019 here. I've been in the space longer, going live every day, sharing my receipts, not hiding anything from you guys. This channel is about sharing my passion for trading and for Bitcoin and crypto with you guys out there. There are a million channels for every one channel of us, for every single Tom Crown channel where we're out here just trying to provide value, provide a space for people to be in, exist in, and share their passions. There are scammers everywhere, grifters everywhere. What I don't do, I don't accept money to shill you things. I don't take, I've turned down way too much money to tell you guys to buy rugs or projects that end up making you lose money. That is not what we do. I just share my analysis. I do not give financial advice. I do not pretend like I'm always right. There is no such thing as someone who is always right, especially when it comes to trading. Those are scammers. Watch out for them. Here at the worst, I hope to just offer a space for you guys to come, be excited together, be afraid together, share your anxieties, share your wins, share your losses, and hopefully find some community with that, because everyone out there in the world, outside of crypto, and I would even say outside of trading, they don't know what's going on here. They don't know what we go through, and we can be here for each other, and that value is something you just cannot find elsewhere. So with that said, what we do here is just try to have some fun, do some analysis. I do some live trades. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. Make your own decisions. Please don't just blindly copy me. That's not a good way to go. Done. Let's get into the corn. I don't have that much planned as homework for today. We're going to go over some stuff. I don't have that much in the bag. Bitcoin has moved kind of predictably. I guess I will go over what the logic was for this move that we were looking for on Wednesday, what we were looking for after potentially. I saw two kind of scenarios play out here, and they're both valuable for your trading pleasure. We'll do that, and I should just kick it, shoot the shit, because I don't know if things are moving. We'll find out. I'm a little behind from Turkey. God, Turkey's a scam. One thing that is moving today, silver. We should probably check out silver. We're not going to do this first, but silver now at all-time highs again. I made some pretty bold statements about silver earlier this year. I think that they're still on the table, but the timeline might take a little bit longer here. Silver at all-time highs, and actually is even higher than when I planned this stream just like I want to be after this live stream. At $56, this is the highest price it's ever been at. And basically, it has traded back to 1980s high. 1980. So what were you doing in 1980? Think back. I should have been buying silver instead of being negative 10 years old. That's what I should have been doing. Shout out to Jason Casper. He said that joke on a reply to one of my tweets today. I thought it was funny. So I should have been buying silver instead of being negative 10. But we're gonna check into this. I have some bold calls, some bold predictions for silver, and it's looking good. It's looking good. Maybe not by end of year, but maybe Q1, Q2 of next year. We're going to jump into that right after Bitcoin. I assume gold is moving, though I don't think I've gotten any kind of alert on it. Looks like Kaspa is moving, and copper. Copper and Kaspa maybe moving together as the bronze of crypto numplaying. So we'll look at Kaspa as well. I know that I was a little skeptical on its moves there on Wednesday. That's not looking bad. Yeah, we'll do Bitcoin, then silver, then whatever you guys want to look at. Hopium on the silver. What's up, Pooch? By the way, if you're watching on a different platform, you can join us over at youtube.com, where we have many viewers. We're just warming up here. We'll shout everybody out in a moment. Say hello. Bring all the boys to the yard. And let's lock in here. Let's lock in. Zcash. All right, yeah, Zcash. We'll bring Zcash up too. Zcash hasn't moved much. We'll put that on the docket. Has Monero. Nvidia now. Monero, my baby. Now Monero's chilling. Okay, we'll do Bitcoin first. Is ZEC done? Maybe. We will talk about it if I think ZEC is done. I've shared with you guys what I think. Nothing's really changed, but let's jump through Bitcoin really quick here. So on Wednesday, very simple analysis. We went over it multiple times throughout that stream. Let's just go over it for the sake of the new people. Also, we're live on TikTok for the first time in many moons, because for some reason they keep taking away my ability to stream there. I don't know. So none of them have seen this. On the corn, we were looking for 93.3. This is not a random number. This is a very important number to the chart. After seeing a little bit of a reversal last week, our weekly close moving up about 10% off the lows, we were looking for essentially what is a dead cat bounce or potentially a real rally to resume the bull market. We are not out of danger. In fact, we are probably at the scariest point that we've seen, which might sound strange to some. After 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of falling, we're starting to move up, and I'm saying this is the scariest part. What am I talking about? Well, I will tell you right now. We have held on to April's low on Bitcoin, down at 74K, just barely, sitting at 80.5, kind of a random number. It's really not historical or important number to the chart, but that's sometimes how these lows go. We're looking for two potential upside targets, the first of which was 93.3. And on Wednesday, I said, I am so confident that we touch 93.3, and I think that we'll touch it this week. That happened earlier today. We should have gone live. The reason for 93.3 is it is the yearly open. We've talked about this number a lot over the last 2 months now. Geez, time is going. As the yearly open, this is a place of major liquidity. It's a super important value or price to the chart. Each time we trade above and below, the entire yearly candle flips from red to green. Whether you care or not isn't really relevant, but think about algorithms, bots, even maybe institutional trading, big capital, looking at this time frame. Each time it flips from red to green and green to red, there is certainly algorithms out there adjusting, saying the market is bullish or bearish or whatever. And so each time that we move to this level, I do expect to find support or resistance. We didn't find support on the sell-off into November, which was surprising. You guys saw me get liquidated taking longs there. But now on the move from the 80,000 low in right now, we are seeing price move exactly to 93.3. That yearly open is tested it this morning. If we want to zoom in and get super exact, it was actually a little bit lower, 93.172. I still think we'll hit the full 93.3 before we see anything. So potentially there is still opportunity there. I told you guys I'm going to look for a short position, some kind of scalp there. I think there's still time. But the outcomes or the scenarios that we were looking for on this test. So maybe I go this way. From 93.3, this was the minimum bounce that I expected from 80,000. Rejection from here would be pretty bad. We've seen price sell off. I won't call it a rejection yet. But this would be pretty ugly. If this does happen, meaning we can't retake 93.3 into this week, we see selling, maybe confirmation will be below like 86.5. A retest of the low gets very likely. That's down at 80.5 thousand. Now, a retest, I think, would be hopeful. Hopeful to think that that will hold. What I think is more likely is if we do reject from here 93.3, break 80.5, I believe we will come down and sweep liquidity at 74 to 76K. Taking out April's low, this is very problematic. The chart looks terrible in this position, but there's still a little bit of hope left. The other outcome, I know this is maybe confusing, but the other outcome is that we do not reject. I'm still on this train for now. We do not reject, and we make a full 618 retracement from our all-time high to our 80K low here, to the golden Fibonacci, the 618. There is all kinds of confluence here. I cannot even begin to get into all of it. It's about a 102 to 106 area, a few percent range here. This is the logical retracement target. The downside move from the all-time high has been rather inefficient for Bitcoin. You can see, and you remember over the course of, oh God, what feels like forever, sideways movement. Moves up being met with moves down being met with moves up, or efficient price action. Over the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, we've seen pretty much just down, and that begs the market to come fill that in with efficiency. Typically, that's with a retracement, and I would expect this to go about as high as 106K right now. If you look back at previous bear markets, you'll see we always had some kind of retracement like this before we entered the big plunge, the big year-long dark cycle. At this level is like the 200-day moving average, the weekly 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐭 TK and KJ, our retracement, the 618 here. So much. That's not even half of it. There is a lot of confluence at this level. Hopefully we can continue past that and have a V-shaped recovery. As I've told you guys every time, I still believe that we have all-time highs coming before we are in an official bear market. By the end of the year, meaning 126K breaks, it's getting harder and harder to stay optimistic on that. But I'm still there. I'm still thinking we do this. That would be the ultimate good scenario, would to be just bypass all those, move on up to all-time high, whatever, and finish off the bull market with the blow off top. But even I, the permanent bull, am going to look to hedge a position around this 106 target. It's likely going to be low leverage, keeping in mind that it is possible to see some kind of wick high again, like we have seen over and over and over again before we enter a bear market. I'm going to look to likely open a low leverage short around 106, because rejection from this level, I would say, is actually worse than 93.3, what's happened this morning. If we reject from 106 and come back down to our low, what do we have? We have just an ugly pattern. No matter how you want to describe it, you want to say head and shoulders, sure. It doesn't really matter what it's called. What you would have there is a capitulation-ish top, a sell-off into a lower or failed high, and an entry into a bear market. That would be the official like dead cat bounce failure. That is what I don't want to see. 106-ish being rejected, breaking the 80K low, I think sends us into a longer, more prolonged downward sell-off bearish market, right? That would be the worst. So I was saying that 93.3 rejecting and coming down to April's low might not be even, might be a better scenario than 106. And the reason I say that is a sweep of liquidity down here. I know I'm coming back to the idea. I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment again. Coming back to this is the 93.3, what we've seen. Rejection and break sweep low of 74 could result in some kind of stronger move, climb back to all-time highs this way. None of these are a great look, and really the most bullish outcome, or the only bullish kind of outcome here, is to just V-shape recovery and go back to all-time highs. But these are the two outcomes we were looking for. These are the prices, the potential moves afterwards that we've been talking about for a while. And I'm pretty confident that we see one of the three. We've hit 93.3 now, the yearly open tested. Kind of to put them into summary, the rejection here would be a shorter term lower low coming, like a quicker lower low that I think could result in a more explosive upside move. The rejection at 106 is the worst kind of bear market-esque outcome that I really am afraid of and hope doesn't happen here. And I'm still, for the third option, holding out hope that we see a recovery. Price moving back to all-time highs. Some kind of explosive move to a new all-time high that puts us, I don't know, at this point, it's going to be a very difficult game to guess where that's going to be. Like 160, 170 wouldn't be bad. Might be a little hopium, maybe 150, but gives us a below off top that basically makes this bull run look like every other bull run we've ever seen, with some kind of move to the upside ending it. Entering into a bear market after some euphoria comes into play, price moves up to 160, 150. People are like, oh, I was wrong. I sold everything down here at 80. I made the wrong choice. I have to get back in. People see Bitcoin is up, what? It'd be like 100% off the low in a month. People are like, oh, I have to FOMO now. They jump in at the top. It's over. And we enter into a bear market, a 4-year cycle, as we've always seen. I think there's still time for that. I'm still holding out hope for it. That's where I'm at. So that is the quick, I guess, summary. I don't know how quick that was of what's going on with the corn. If we can retest or actually hit a full 93.3, if we do it while we're live, I'll open the trade while we're live. I'll probably put a little limit order there for some kind of scalp. I don't know how that'll look quite yet. What do we got? 2-3% upside here. Maybe with a stop at like 96.6. Take profit at 80.5. Yeah, something like that. That'll do. Yeah. What's up, Anonymous? I see people over on TikTok. What's up, friends? I have no idea how many people are watching over there. I have the tab pulled up, though. Let me see. Let me organize this quick. 17 minutes in. We have like 600 viewers on YouTube live. That's pretty good. It's a quieter day. If we had gone live a few hours ago, I think we would have had a big crew. But if you want to join us on youtube.com/TomCrown, that's the main stream, the big stream. But you're welcome to chill over there. How does one get into stocks? That's a great question, Anonymous. I'm not a huge stock fan, man. I'm a crypto trader. I've traded some stocks, but I was born into crypto. I'm one of the few, maybe it's more common now, but one of the few, at least when I started, that got into trading via crypto, not stocks. Look at me going live on TikTok. What's up, Bullish Babe? Shout out to you, my friend. Yeah, Streamlabs was like, you can go live on TikTok now. I used to, and then they took it away. I don't know. It's weird. We'll see how long it lasts. And we're also like, oh, Kai's over there. Kai's over on the X stream. Welcome, Kai. Let's go back to the YouTube chat. Who's over there? If you're here today, man, not a lot of chatters. People are quiet on YouTube. What's going on? What's going on? What? We are a little bit later than usual. We go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we've been going live almost every single day on YouTube. Typically before this time, around 1 p.m. or noon East. So we're a little late. Price action is a little sideways. Energy is maybe not doing as hot over here, but it's still happening. We're all waiting in anticipation. I agree. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I see some really great names over here. What's up, 808 Hawk, OBSY Birdie, Bob Digital Drum, Ghost, Honda Man, Julio Energy, Castillas Dazinis. That's a new name. How you doing, bro? Martin P, Media Player, Petro Kukula, Pickle, Tony C, Voldyakazuman. What's up, my friend? Eternal G, always holding it down. Eternal G, can I make you like a mod over here? Can I make you a mod on Twitch? I haven't used Twitch in forever. There you go. You're now a mod because you're here every single stream. And we just hold it down by yourself. Cheers, bro. Can you make people mods on TikTok live? Can I make Bullish Babe a mod? How do I do that, Bullish Babe? Bullish Babe. It's a good name, Bullish Babe. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I'll figure that out later. Anyway, happy Friday. Happy Friday. You are high, so you're so quiet. That's okay. I get high. I get quiet high too. We got more to look at. We've got a lot more to look at. We did Bitcoin quickly. Honestly, for everyone on YouTube, that was just summary rehash of what we've been talking about for a while. I didn't even do a good job of it. Silver is really stealing the show. Is it true that too much Bitcoin lick is parked in ETFs? ETFs are, I mean, they're not leveraged. ETFs are in general spot. So there's a lot of FUD, a lot of weird FUD. Have you guys noticed this? There's a bunch of weird FUD about spot holdings getting liquidated. People talk about Sailor getting liquidated. Now ETFs getting liquidated. Like, spot doesn't get liquidated. Spot holdings don't have a liquidation. It's interesting that we keep hearing about it. Very interesting. Click on your pick and it should pop up. It didn't. It didn't though. Do I have to do it on a phone maybe? Because I'm on the PC is not doing it. I know you missed me. I missed you, Mark. That's right, baby. I missed all you guys. Where you been? It's actually been crazy. The streams have been crazy lately. Over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we've had, like, I don't want to say bull market numbers, but the numbers I would have expected in the bull market. I can't even see it then when I go on my phone. When I go on my phone on my TikTok, it doesn't even show that we're live. I don't understand TikTok. I'm unk. I'm now unkin. Doesn't work on the doesn't work. I don't know. Doesn't work on the PC. Nothing works. We'll figure it out. Sailor's not levered. He's not. They do have some debt and things which people maybe are confusing about it. Like, they do have debts. They do have like dividends. I think they have to pay. Some they don't. But it's they're holding spot Bitcoin. It doesn't get liquidated. Silly. What's up for Hoopty? Drum. Front running 90K a little sus. True. But those ETFs don't rotate into alts. That's what I was up. They don't. The money or the value, whatever, the shares locked into ETFs is largely on an island. You know, it's isolated. It is not a part of the liquidity that we typically have seen over the last 10 years, whatever, of crypto. That's also true for like Sailor, treasury companies. That is liquidity that doesn't enter or re-enter in that sense. It's basically not even liquidity when it's bought. You know, OTC doesn't move the price, which is a weird lesson that we're learning. Of course, we knew that, but OTC trading is even at the size of Sailor, billions, seems to have very little to no impact, and possibly you could even argue as the opposite impact, which is strange on markets. You DM me, have to do it off stream. Yeah, it's cool. Go ahead, do it. Do it, bullish babe, do it. Silver. I'm talking about silver. I still think this joke is funny. Silver is now trading at its all-time high, breaking past 1980s low, or 1980s all-time highs. What the heck? Like, what? This, I don't know what this means. I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not unk enough to be a huge metals market guy. I've never really seen metals do anything in my lifetime, in my time of trading. And now they're behaving so differently. They are behaving like crypto, which is very odd. People used to say crypto would act more like stocks, but it seems like stocks and traditional markets act more like crypto. Trading beyond 1980s high. At this point, it's up 18%. So if you had held for 46 years, you are now up 20%, which sounds insane. Obviously, that is cherry-picked data. If you had bought in 1990, you'd be up 1,500%. But still, you could have bought in 1980 and been up 20% now. So what were we doing back in the 80s? Instead of being negative 10 years old, we should have been buying silver. I think that's funny. So I'll stop now. But this chart's wild. And what's really cool about this silver chart is it looks a lot like some of the altcoin charts that we see, that we look at all the time. Of course, this is over a way bigger time frame. This is decades, right? But if you look at this chart, you will find many charts in crypto that are weirdly similar. You have an all-time high, and so instead of 1980, we'll say maybe it's like 2017, okay? It's like 2017. You have the bear market. You come back up 2021. You basically have equal highs, double top. You don't have a breakout. You don't have an explosion into crazy numbers. And then from 2021 all the way to now. Some of them not quite here yet, but some of them are there. Well, I'll show you the examples. Back to that high. It's weird how similar it looks. I want to have some hopium here and say that means those charts will do this as well. That might be 2 hopiums. A really good example, or I think maybe the best example of what I just talked about, because that might be hard to visualize. What do you mean alts look like the silver chart? Instead of over decades, it's maybe over 4-year cycles. Now take a look at this right here. This chart, this would be like the 1980 all the way down up into, I don't even remember what year this was now, but this is 2017, 2021, higher or low, back to the highs. Tell me those aren't identical. They're like identical. Silver running, I hope, means that these charts that look like this will too. Now Monero or XMR is maybe cherry picked. It's a really good one. It fits really well. But there are others out there that also look like this, that fit this pretty well. You'll need to find to find them, you'll have to go back to like coins that existed in 2017. Probably ones that existed even in 16. There aren't too many that I'm aware of that look like this that are maybe after that era. Like even in 2019 or 2020, I'm not really familiar with any that look like that. It's pretty cool though. We were watching silver rally as gold broke. Who was here? I know a lot of you on YouTube were here because most of our viewers are people who have been watching forever. Forever and ever. What was it? February? Let me see. February, October, September, October, maybe, yeah, of last year. We talked about gold so much. I haven't talked about it as much lately, which is odd because it's been so fire. But we were watching gold. We were watching this trend line from 1980, actually the same period as silver's all-time high. I guess that makes sense. 2011. This is a multiple decade long trend line. We were watching this in real time. I'll zoom in. We're watching it in real time get tested here. Back at the end of last year, we said if gold breaks this trend line and holds it, and we even talked about the bump and run, like a break, a back test, and a move up. We said if this happens, gold is likely, and I have a clip of it, got the receipts, and I sound completely mystified as I say it because it was so foreign, that gold will enter a parabolic state, a move like crypto, that gold, I've never seen gold do. It said, I even said in that clip, like, this sounds weird to say. That's exactly what happened, which is wild. Gold did break that trend line and went parabolic. Now, in hindsight, over the last almost like, what, entire year, that seems not like that important. You're like, yeah, well, everybody knows gold's going up. The timing of that call, man, back here, that was a crazy, crazy statement to say that gold was going to go parabolic. We said gold, in the clip, I think I said gold will double over the next year. And it virtually did that. It didn't quite do that, but it virtually did that. In fact, up until 2024, so not even 2 years ago, gold was just, everyone made fun of gold. It was, haha, Peter Schiff, your gold hasn't gone anywhere in 10 years. What are you talking about, gold, right? Hadn't gone anywhere. That was only a year and a half ago that gold started going crazy. We saw gold break out, and so we started looking at silver, and we said, will silver do the same thing? We did say yes, it would, but man, this took forever. We watched silver do nothing for a long time, and now behaving like gold too, I want to say. Silver has had a run really just since this year, which is strange. Gold's been running for about an entire year longer. You can see silver back here in, what's the same timing? Here we go, like November, October of last year, silver at 30. It spent another 6 months, another 9 months, trading sideways, going back to support, retesting highs back to support. Now it's broken out to kind of go hand in hand with the crazy gold call. I made this on silver. I think I said low ball silver to 100. Now I did say by end of year, and it's still possible. But we're running out of time. This is getting rough. The timing might be wrong, but I fully believe that 100 on silver is an easy upside target. Super easy upside target. Using the same analysis we use for like everything in crypto to find all-time highs, price exploration, just our fib tool using the 1618 extension, we actually get 122. I think that's a solid target for silver over the next year. And by the end of the year, it might not be happening. But over the next year, if silver isn't at 122, I will be so shocked. Makes me wish I owned some silver. I'm certainly not buying it now because I'm stubborn. Because I'm stubborn. Of course, there's higher targets after that. I want to see what happens at 100. I think 100 is a beautiful take profit target for silver. If I was in silver and I see 100 hit, I'm taking some profits, taking that off the table. But silver is still moving. I was like getting lost in the sauce here. Silver did stop out some of our trades, but we were in the right direction, man. Absolutely the right direction. Flat top formed. We saw silver retesting 155. Our lows were coming up. This was a no-brainer. It just took way longer than expected. It's actually a really clean chart. Silver has a tendency to come back and test the resistance as support that it just broke. We don't see that as often in crypto. Crypto, we tend to kind of skip that process a lot of the time, see extended runs in one direction before it collapses and reverses. Fingers crossed that's what's happening now with Bitcoin. And so in that spirit, maybe we're going to look for this move on silver. Well, $60. That was the TP. $60, 65. Move up, say 60. Backtest of 54. In that spirit, I think that that is a good bet. However, once we are in price exploration, which we are in now, meaning trading at prices we've never traded at in silver's history, it may begin to behave differently. That's what we saw That's what we saw with gold. The gold no longer moving back, no longer crushing or compressing volatility, making expansive parabolic moves. Maybe silver's about to do that. We don't have any history, or I don't, that I can lean back on and say that it will. But if it behaves the way it's been behaving, that's probably a solid move. I would feel comfortable entering maybe at 54, 55 after 60 is hit, looking for that continued upside move. This is a cool chart. This is cool. I really hope that this is a good signal for crypto. That's my biggest blessing, my biggest prayer, is that we're going to follow suit. Bitcoin hasn't moved at all, which is lame, super lame. Hasn't done anything. This looks crappy. Look at 𝐂𝐴𝐧. I know you guys want to look at 𝐬𝐧. Yeah. We're going to do some alts here. We'll take some requests. We'll see what you guys are looking at. Let me read the chats here. I've been in the zone for a little bit. See who's here. Let me know. It's Friday. I understand it's the day after Thanksgiving. People are probably already getting ready for Christmas and the holidays. So if you are not here, that's okay. We will be here. So that we'll be here. But if you are here today, let me know. I'm going to read the YouTube chat first. Then I'll jump it over to TikTok. You got a bunch of chatters over here on YouTube. You can join us at youtube.com/TomCrown. What's up, Alex O Crypto? A peer in the streaming on crypto YouTube. How you doing, bro? We here. What's up, Perfection Games? Lions Awakened. Let's go. What's up, King Peasant? Matt Grimes. Metals don't like crypto. They outperform it, then they sell off into crypto. You know, man, I've kind of like ranted like an old man about this over time. Bitcoin people, when I started in crypto in like mid 17, when I started, gold people and Bitcoin people were the same people. Like almost 100% of people that were OGs, like when I started, owned gold. And most of them owned gold before Bitcoin. We used to be the same. We are still, I believe, the same. But we used to be even the same communities. And you know what changed that? Peter Schiff. Literally, Peter Schiff came in with his like rage bait toxic marketing and single-handedly divided that community. Isn't that wild? And think about it. It's the same ideology. It's decentralized. Gold's decentralized. Not in the same way, but gold's decentralized. It is anti-fiat. It is like away from government. Gold is Bitcoin before Bitcoin existed. Then we came up with a better version. Mr. Schniff. Mr. Peter Schniff. That's right. We are the same, but different. What's up, Crypto Knight? What's up, Cactus Leo? Hype it. Nova Kane, you were the first messenger on YouTube. What's over? Let me see who's on TikTok. Bullish Babe still over on TikTok. Guys, if you're on TikTok, follow Bullish Babe. There you go. Gold looks like it wants to make the slant W on the day breakout. I am still surprised that gold hasn't hit 5,000. I thought I made the call of 5,000 before the end of the year, and again, we're running out of time. Yeah, gold definitely breakout. Definitely lucky breakout. This is fire. Lows coming up. Remember what? Retest this. Retest 438. Come back down higher low. You can dick around like this for a while before breaking out. I do not believe the rally on gold is over. I think it may just be taking a long sideways movement, just like we saw in April till September of this year. It could take more time. It could blast out soon, right? Either way, I think it's going to end up looking a lot like it did earlier in the year. 5,000 insights. Maybe not in a month though. Maybe 5,001 has been that target. Where does this come from? This? No. The bigger fib? Maybe. I don't remember. I'll have to find it. I'll find it later. ZEC. We'll look at like ZEC and stuff. It's a BBB1. Both Lambda and COMEX are in trouble with silver. If it breaks, could double overnight. There you go, bro. There you go. Like I said, my call has been 100 by the end of the year. We're running out of time. I don't think it's impossible for silver to like double overnight. I don't want you guys to FOMO and like, yeah, go all in on silver because Tom Crown says it can double. It is totally possible. It may just not happen at all, right? This could just be a slow climb like we've seen. But it was... opinion would have told you it was impossible like a year ago. There are people like, you're crazy if you think silver's going to double overnight. Now it is on the table. It is a possibility. That is a big change in sentiment, I would say, in thought, like in markets, in not that long of a time, especially for an asset as old as silver. What's up, Brian? Followed the host. Welcome, brother. Who else is over there? No, it's not many chatters. Fano. What about Bitcoin? We talked about Bitcoin a good amount. Fano. Silver is the play. Echo Leaf. I feel you. Let me pull up. What? Yay! Eternal G is the only mod on Twitch now. Cheers to Eternal G. We got a poll going on YouTube. It's got 463 votes in the last hour. December will be blank than November. Bullish. Better. Okay, I'll take it. I think it will be bullish. I think it'll be green. Let's lay the bar real low. I think it'll be green. Okay, or just dump less than November, 11%. Meh, about the same, 13%. And worse. Those are low numbers for worse, 17%. So let's say 30, 20, 30, 41% looking at downside or sideways. 59% of us looking bullish. Mind you, though, we are the bullishest, most bullish community ever. So those numbers are always skewed. They're always in favor of bulls, even in the darkest days. So you got to like calculate that in. I'm going to close the X stream. Pre-33 gold? What is that? What's pre-33 gold? Safe from confiscation? You mean Bitcoin? So that's the big fear, I feel like, with gold. The government, if you don't know, did go ahead and take everybody's gold in what, our lifetime. I mean, our lifetime, not really, but like in the last generation of people, our parents' lifetime. Was it 1939? Just took everybody's gold. Just said, you have to give us your gold. The end. What's up, Digital Asset DJ? Happy Thanksgiving, brother. I don't think I'll crash because of the housing market. Look at how much short silver contracts. I'll have to look into that, BBB. So I mostly do crypto. I look at metals. We cover like the Fed and things. And occasionally, you know, we'll look at NVIDIA. We'll look at indices and stuff. We're not super into I'm not super into trad markets personally. And so that translates out to we typically spend our time looking at crypto. So I don't have, I don't even know how to do that. I'll have to Google it. But that sounds interesting. Sounds worthy. S&P having actually a good day, a good week. Still a lower high. I still think we're going to see this 200 day be tested at the previous all-time high, 6150. Unless man, we start really printing, which is not out of the question. Really, like a huge printing wave from the U.S. government right now. lines up really well with a lot of things. Like QT ending in December. December is now how many days away? 3. Trump literally saying today he's going to keep stocks at all-time high. Well, there's one way to do that. There's really only one way to do that, I think, at this point. And that's to just inflate. Let inflation run away. We don't have any of the data from October. We don't have what? Jobs. We don't have GDP. We don't have, is it inflation as well? I forget what the other metric is. Maybe the government's just not going to release that data anymore, and they're just going to print. This has always been the long game for Bitcoin, is that governments can't be trusted. They can't be trusted with the money printer. The money printer perhaps was the most dangerous invention that governments ever had, the most dangerous power, because every single one ends up destroying itself with it. Maybe that's what's up. Maybe we'll just stop getting numbers. We'll have QTN, we'll have quantitative easing behind the scenes. Everything will go up. 𝐒𝐴 and his buds will probably try to fight it until May when he's replaced, and numbers will go up. I don't know. It's not a bad bet. I don't think it's a bad bet at all. Great, we have another CME gap to no one's excitement. 90.3, 90.6. Market's close rate. Is the market closed? That's actually, did I just clown myself? Is it? I don't think so. No. Right? I forget often that TradFi market's closed. No. At least SPX is open. Oh. No? No, you're right. Dude, trad markets are, because look, Nvidia is closed right now. Wait, did they close early? They closed at noon? Dude, this is, I'm just going to take a sec here as well to rant, dude. This is another reason why I'm so just more crypto than trad markets. What is that? What is markets closing? It doesn't even make sense. It's like, we all need a nap. We need a time to nap. So we're just not going to let the market do its thing. SPX is still trading because this is like S&P 500 futures, right? I think that's why it's still trading. But it's like, we need a nap, so we need to like turn it off for a while. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and I get it. We're all human. We need naps, man. But like, that's not a free market. It's not free market discovery. That's just, there's so many rules. There's so much BS, I feel. It's all a scam. That's my opinion. Crypto markets are obviously in their own ways, they're scams, right? They have their own issues, but I trust this better. At least there's no, oh, it went down, close the mark, turn it off. It went up, turn it off. That's not real. That's like the opposite of free market dynamics. I don't know. This is AI. Your AI, Pi Tai. Blue shades are off. Put on these bad boys. What do you mean, this is AI? I guess that's a compliment. Is it because I have a green screen? Can AI do this? Can it put its hand off of a green screen and look back? I'm not gonna lie though, I also now assume everything is AI. Whenever I see anything, I'm like, it's AI, for the most part. I'll have to look at it. Calls on delivery on COMEX. Maybe I'll Google it. COMEX. Calls? See what happens when I Google it. Bitcoin is the only free market in human history. I actually agree on that. I agree. A lot of people, that trigger a lot of people. That's some rage bait. Monthly deliveries. No, I'm not going to download it. No. I just want like a chart. Okay, there's a lot here to look at. This actually, just briefing through this data, there actually is a lot here to unpack. Historical notional deliveries for the month of November. Boom. Look at that. November 25. Huge. Open interest. Oh, gold. Whoa. This is probably what BBB is talking about. Spread in dollars on future spot. Holy. This is like a black hole. You can see it's never in the last 5 years dipped this low. That's crazy. I'll look into this after the stream. Not right now. What if Trump is AI? Crypto Knight, I believe he will be someday. He will absolutely be AI someday. CME shut down silver trading briefly because it was taking off. Interesting. Interesting. So there is something here. What's up, Manuel? There is something here. The reason, though, guys on TikTok, the reason maybe you think I'm not real is our stream mainly, or our main stream is on youtube.com/TomCrown. We're a YouTube channel. This is like our first time streaming on TikTok in a while, and I'm mostly reading the YouTube chat. That's why maybe you think I'm ignoring you. Plunge protection, but in reverse. Pump protection. The pump protection team's out. What's up, Salrav? What's up, brother? Let's look at some more stuff. I promised you we'd look at 𝐂𝐡 and 𝐬𝐶, shall we? We need that nap, yeah, to talk about how they can rig the market. Exactly. Precisely. Precisely. Ooh, to remind you about Dash, thank you, Eternal G. Ooh, Dash just did the thing I didn't want it to do. That's not great. We can look at Dash too. First, though, we're gonna get to 𝐬𝐶, 𝐂𝐡, and Dash. First, USDTD, man, this is not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. USDD, the tongue twister of crypto. Tether dominance, as I'm just gonna keep calling it. Traded higher than we wanted. Traded higher than the awesome plan we had. Did not break August's high, which is good. Came just shy of August's high. The higher that tether dominance is, typically the more bearish the market is, or at least the trend of tether dominance describes a bearish market in general. Weakness or bearishness on tether dominance typically is seen during the bullish market. This is not looking great now. Tether dominance hit its lows in March of last year. No surprise, the pre-halving all-time high. Let's look into December of last year. Yep, down here when the market was actually spicy at the end of last year. Briefly in August of this year, for whatever reason. I can't even remember now. Is that when we first hit like 120? I don't know. But either way, tether dominance is, to my chagrin, printing reversal. I know. I was really hoping we'd see another lower high here. I talked about this a lot. Was the potential for a lower high into mid-November, retesting this low trend line, seeing one more kind of move to all-time highs, a blow off top, before inevitably entering a bear market, right? Unfortunately, tether dominance had other plans. Breaking April, retesting earlier in June. We are now watching this ever so closely. Ever so closely. It is trickling back down. Today's green candle is uncomfortable at best. I don't know if it's really quite time to be afraid, but basically this, looking for potentially a higher low. Retesting or back testing that descending trend line from the previous highs. Looking for a reversal there. That could mark the dead cat bounce. We could even see, right, into next week. This could be 93.5. It could be 106. Before reversing. A higher low here is going to be, in my opinion, maybe the strongest signal for a bear market. Kind of confirm whatever signal for a bear market. That would be really bad. Watch right here. And it's not far. It's at 6%. We're looking at like 5.73%. Whatever price is at as it tests this trend line might be a place to look for hedge. What I'm hoping happens is it breaks through and again goes down and kind of plays out the way that I was hoping it would play out. And this is basically what we have to see for my hopium, that we see another all-time high this year, this cycle to happen. We need to see tether dominance for the most part fall off here. We need to see this trend line break. And it has been, since it neared July's high, it has been trending down. So it's keeping hope alive. What will crush hope for me is any higher low. So whether it's at 5.9 or 5.7 or up here even today, if into the weekend and next week it continues higher, breaking 6.76% is going to be absolutely brutal for the bull case. I hate saying it. It feels dirty. It'll be brutal for the bull case. What happens then is we have broken our highs. If you invert this chart, you will find a very nasty inverse head and shoulders. Or not inverse, head and shoulders. Very nasty head and shoulders. That is likely going to take us somewhere back into the highs. You can see back here on tether dominance, this is basically the bear market bottom. The all-time highs on tether dominance. Will we break the all-time highs in the bear market? I don't know. It's a really interesting question. We may see lower highs me see lower highs versus this previous bear market. Back down and follow kind of this greater trend of tether dominance. I'll give you guys, a lot of you brought me tether dominance and said, could you look at this? You know, USDTD, can you tell us the value of it? And I shook it off for a while. It is largely just like Bitcoin dominance upside down. But I will give it to you since I have started paying more attention to it. I found value in it. So I appreciate you all. I love when you guys bring me stuff. Like I say, I try to share my value with you, but I get a lot of value from you guys. Just the collective thoughts of our community of almost 200,000 over on YouTube. Where are we at? Right here. 196,237 on YouTube. All that collective knowledge is just alpha you can't find. It's just can't buy it. It's not available anywhere. It's our secret. But yeah, we may see a retest of that all-time high in the bear market. This would also be, here's some hopium. You know, say it's 2026. We're into next year. We're around Q4, or whatever, maybe halfway through the year. Tether dominance retesting its all-time high from June of 22. Likely an incredible buy signal for Bitcoin, at least. Altcoins are on their own, but likely an incredible signal for re-entry in a bear market, whatever price it's at. If we see continuation to all-time highs, right, and it keeps going, you know, we'll reassess then. We'll look at it then. But it's reasonable to, you know, it'd be reasonable to say, well, maybe we're looking at 12%, right? This is unlikely to blast off into crazy, crazy numbers. It's likely going to be restrained or contained by some kind of trend like this. 12, maybe 14%. You might even be able to say, I'm going to look to rebuy in a bear market at 10%, 9.5% tether dominance. About 1/3. I'll put another third in at 12% and another third in, be all back in by 14%. I think that'd be highly successful. The worst case scenario I think that happens there is you don't get back in. It doesn't hit all-time high. But something like that can be used in a plan for sure. I went on too long. Didn't mean to go on that long. That's okay. This is how we do. I just nerd out to the chart. Hold up quick. Stupid Ethereum didn't fill me. Bij. MicroStrategy reverse. Okay. We'll do like CASM next, right? 2022 is overbought. I'm not even looking at overbought when it comes to dominance. I'm just going to look at the highs. 9.5%. Retesting the highs. I think retesting the highs is logical for Tether dominance in the next bear market bottom because Tether does not seem to be slowing down. It just trucks along. Just adds dollar value. We may, as time goes on, need to start looking at stablecoin dominance, not just Tether dominance. And in fact, it might already be that time. It might already make sense to do that. As more stables come online and have more value, probably makes sense to do that. What's up, Sammy Love over on TikTok? Fib patterns, Ian. I have great videos on fibs. I talk about fibs all the time. One of my favorite tools in trading. TradingView. This is TradingView. No. It's true. This is. Gotta run. See you, bullish babe. You're probably already gone. I didn't check that. By the way, I'm going to be picking the winners today, provided TradingView gets back to me, because I realized TradingView was like, pick the winners by Thursday. Ew, didn't do that. It was Thanksgiving. But I'll try. I'll see if I'm pretty sure I can still give them away because I told people I would do this. TradingView has given me these 2 accounts to give away on TradingView for a year of premium. One's premium, one's ultra. So it's like the premium is $500 value. The ultra is $2,300 value. All you have to do is honestly, just like retweet or comment on this tweet on my Twitter, on my X, at Tom Crown on X. I don't know if I can put links even in TikTok. There you go. I said it will be picked randomly by me at my discretion, meaning what I'm going to do is I'm going to see from our community who is engaged with it. I'm going to randomly pick with them. I'm not going to like allow random, I don't know, like bot accounts to win and stuff like spam giveaway chasers. Randomly at my discretion. So kind of random. But yeah, go engage so we can give these out. I'll have to give them out today. x.com/Tom Crown. Okay. Do a little Zek. Who can pay that kind of money for TradingView? I do. I have. I don't even know how much money I've given TradingView over the years. Full discretion, no. They have now. They do now. Give me a free one. I want to deceive you guys. They do now give me a free one. But for many years, bro, I paid so much money to TradingView. So many dollars. But let's give away those free ones. Those are solid. By the way, if you are on the fence about TradingView, which probably very few of our viewers are, we're probably all entrenched. The free version of TradingView is totally good. It's totally fine. Especially if you're just starting your trading journey. You don't need premium. Premium, all it really does is you can have like more chart setups. You can have more indicators on chart. Those, if you're really, you've been in trading for years, especially if you're taking it very seriously, you probably want to look at some kind of paid version, but certainly not right away. And even then, it's not necessary, right? You don't have to. You'll be fine. Be fine. It's not a big deal. You look at Zek next. What's up, B Rose? Bo Nix followed me over on TikTok. What's up, boys? Zek is looking hot, hot, hot. So we'll take a look at Zek. Check out Platinum Everlasting Duty. Well, we're going to look at Zek, but I do now because metals are popping. I'm curious. Also, that reminded me that I should pull up copper, because copper, I think, just blasted some kind of pivot as well. I noticed this is not copper. The cops. There we go. Platinum, Zek. Platinum is moving. It's interesting to me that platinum looks so different from its metal counterparts. We'll take a look at platinum. We'll probably take a look at copper too, but we're going to do Zek first. What's up, Emod? Have I ever faced an issue with TradingView sometimes not being able to close your position? So, Emod, I do not use TradingView to trade directly. I am aware of it. I know how it works. I know that you can do it. I know there's integrations. To my knowledge, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I know people have done it successfully. It's not my area of expertise. I've never had that issue because I don't use it. What I typically do is I use TradingView as a reference for price on whatever exchange I'm trading on. It should be API, so you shouldn't really have that issue, right? But you should double check is make sure that you're looking at the right chart, right, to the right exchange. I don't know. I've never had that issue. You want to tell us what happened? For crypto, which A-book exchanges do you recommend? Mr. Techno Goody, my guy. Well, of course, if you're in the US, Coinbase, like if you want a KYC, the safest option. Of course, no exchanges are totally safe. They're all equally risky. Know the risks. I'd say Coinbase, links in the video description below. TomCrown.io/Coinbase. There's also Kraken. I use Kraken. I trust Kraken and Coinbase pretty thoroughly. But again, never hold your assets there. It's not a bank. It's not self-custody. If you're looking for the higher risk, looking for alts, or looking for perpetuals, options, leverage, I use BYDFi. Links in the video description below. They're our exchange partner. Get big bonuses using my link. Help support the stream. Femex is there. Honestly, the entire space has really solidified over the last few years. There aren't that many exchanges that I would caution away from. There are some. They end in the letter C. But there are some. The biggest tip I have for people out there is there are so many scam exchanges that are just kind of like pop up to take people's money and disappear. Just go with the household names. Just stick to that. The household names that might be hard to like, what is that? The ones that have been around for a while. That's the best advice I can give. Also, keep your assets on exchange just to what you're trading. Withdrawal, don't use it as your wallet to hold things. Those are the safest practices. Period. Okay. What's up, Amar? Nikos Wagman. It's crazy on TikTok. Look at how satisfying this is. When people join, it like pops up down here, and of course these people might just be like scrolling through. Like Mama Melly, what's up? That's so satisfying. YouTube doesn't do that. It's okay. YouTube's our home. Let's look at Zach. Similar to �MEC Traders Act. That's the worst thing you could have said. No, don't say that. It's like, I mean, I don't know 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐿, to be honest, but �MEC is one I don't. How have you or do you trade futures? I do it live, Nikos. We do it live. Futures, not options. We do it live, baby, over on youtube.com/TomCrown. Zach is 5 minutes away from FBI court. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what is? I've heard that about so many things, Matt. It's like they're this far away from FBI court. Where is this FBI headquarters that everything seems to be near? I wouldn't worry about it. The FBI, the CIA, they have nothing to gain from creating digital anonymity. Silly that people are like, Bitcoin was created by the CIA. Yeah, dude, that's insane. It's insane to think any government would ever unleash something like this on the world. It is totally counterintuitive. Makes no sense. They would never do that. No, they have nothing to gain, just to lose. Anyway, we'll look at Zach. Looking at the Zcash, everyone's favorite chart literally over the last 1, 2, 3 months. And before that, everyone's least favorite chart. Everyone hated Zach as of August of this year. Some people start paying attention in September, October, and November. People, it's like a household name now. Trading at 458, down from 742. That's kind of brutal. With 2 days to go, it is possible that Zach closes this monthly candle red. It's not off the table. That's kind of crazy. Mind you, it is still up 13% on this month. Last month is up 445%. This is why you're looking at it. You got problems. Do I think it's over? I don't. I do not. Early this month, we were looking for a move back to 400 or 393. I was looking for an entry there. That entry was to move to about 900. I still think that's on the table. I still think that's what's ahead. This monthly close is going to be telling, though. If it closes red, that's probably a very bad sign. Losing this low in this fashion also isn't the best. I'd like to see something like this play out. Just a stop liquidity sweep, whatever. I think that Zach has 900 in it. I think 900 is the target, right? On the way up, we've talked about this. I told you my plan. I've executed some of my plan, which was to take some profits at 400 and then set limit sell orders, which I did at 900. And then basically, if it goes out, if it continues past that to just, I have like a bag left that I'll ride. I still think that's the plan. Buying now, I think your risk is high. I would at least wait for 400. I don't think anything's really changed. The monthly close in 2 days could kind of tint my view on that. If Zach closes red for November, I think you come back down to like 250. Back down here. If it closes red. If not, I think you get a tap like 400 and move back up. I'd likely be out of any trade in the mid threes, high threes. You see, the stop is very tight on this trade. What's going on here? Bear div on the highs. My flow's rolling over on the day. Has looked better. It's just not super compelling. I don't find this crazy compellingly over. It has lost a little bit of its momentum, but you have to put it into context. Crypto and Bitcoin have just gotten slaughtered in this time frame. Where's October 10th? October 10th is all the way down here. All the way here at 150. It is up 200% since October 10th. If Bitcoin did the same, I don't even know where it would be. 103. 300K, right? It would have sold off. It would have sold off 40%. So, well, like 700K sold off to 300K. Comparatively, it's doing incredibly well. At some point, the rodeo will end. I just think 900 is the play. I think that we move up towards 1,000. People see 1,000, they start saying, "Oh, let's go to 10,000, let's go to 100,000," and then the ride's over. I would love to be wrong. I'm going to be out of like half of my position or more at 900. I'll leave the rest to just ride potentially. Just man, be careful. I know when everything else is being slow and bleeding and painful, the shiny thing performing well is really tempting. But you have to remember, you just have to remember that though it is being strong, it's up like 1,000% from September. You are buying at a huge premium. Anything bought here, I feel like has to be an in and out position. Like if this trade were taken from 400, you just like have to be out at 900 if it hits. Now that's 130% trade, which is kind of too much to ask for, but still some iteration, some version of that I think is the play. Be careful. Look at Cass here. What do I think about stablecoins for the next year, Benny? I mean, that stablecoins are the bearish hedge bet. It's the same as like kind of what do you think about selling your spot sitting in dollars? I think that it makes sense to be in a percent stables, and I think that it makes lots of sense into 2026 to have liquidity in your portfolio. Absolutely. Makes total sense. Total sense. No, I don't know if you're asking a deeper question about stables. Like, do I think they'll be stable or what? I would also stay away from all of the random stables that are out there. I don't know. USDE or something, right? I would stick to, in general, Tether, USDC, and what is it? It's like GUSD, USDG. I don't remember. Like the other one, the ones that Coinbase and Kraken will use and accept. Typically, I would stay with those. I wouldn't really mess with anything that is new. I would never touch anything that's algorithmic. We have learned that lesson. Even if it's in the US, I still wouldn't. Any suggestion for trade, Nosh? YT? We'll see. We've gone over some so far. You're down so much. You want to buy more in 6-10 months and old? Bro, get after it. But when I started crypto, I don't even know at this point, like getting close to a decade, I was down 85% within a year of starting. 85%. And that's without leverage. That was on spot. I just kept DCAing Bitcoin. The more I was down, the more I DCA'd. And here I am, doing all right. Doing okay. Changed my life. Not the richest man in the world. I don't have $1 billion, but I am better off than I ever thought I'd be. For real. Cass. Do you want to look at Caspa? P-Die on Pulse Chain is the only safe stable. Dude, isn't it, Henny, isn't that at like cents on the dollar? Why would you say that? I can understand. I accept that people are Pulse and Hex people. I accept it. I just don't. Why would you go with the stablecoin? It's $1.88. Why would you ever mess with a stablecoin that's not $1? That fluctuates at all. Just stick with crypto then. Wait, isn't this it? The DAI on PulseX? It's at 0.0017 cents. This is. I mean, I don't want to hurt feelings here, guys, but like this now we're going back to $1. Maybe, yeah, I'm wrong sometimes. I've been wrong in the past. It's okay if you think I'm wrong about this, but I absolutely believe that this will never repeg, like Luna. Now they're never going to repeg. I don't know why you'd buy this. I honestly wouldn't even go with DAI, regardless of like if it's on Pulse or not. I don't know why you wouldn't just stick with Tether. Like, I don't want to hold Tether. Or, I don't know why you just go to USD. Really, you just go USD. No hate. It's just Thanksgiving. We have to be thankful, not hateful. But I just don't get it. Don't speculate on stablecoins. Stablecoins are now, I guess, a necessity of evil. Didn't used to exist. They are useful, but man, they're pegged to $1. So why not just go dollars? The reason you go Tether is it's just like more liquid. It's easy to move. That's it. maybe you don't have the USD pairs where you are, right? Those are the only reasons I can think of. I'm sitting here looking at 𝐂𝐽, saying nothing, just kind of like scrolling through time frames. Good recovery here on 𝐂𝐽. You've broken some highs after hitting lows. We were looking for 6.5 to 7.5 cents. He got very close. 6.3. Hold �PAXG then. Yeah, I mean, �PAXG in my mind is the tether to USD. �PAXG is to gold as tether is to USD. I would never like trust �PAXG over regular gold, and I would never trust tether over just dollars in my hand. But for liquidity purposes, for trading pair purposes, yeah, I would use them. You want more? Yeah, I want a little more volatility in my stablecoin. I like my stablecoins not stable. I like them to potentially lose everything. Pick one, ICT or SMC. I don't know, bro. I'm not really a student of either. I've made videos on both. All trading concepts, all trading tools, I think are useful. Some are valuable. There you go. They're all wrong. Some are valuable. You don't buy stablecoins. Buying stablecoins is really just selling crypto. It's really no different. You trust PAX? Yeah. So like, I mean, and I trust Tether. But when I say trust, it's the same way as when I say I trust Coinbase. I trust them as far as I can throw them. Like I trust them because I trust everything else less. It's not a reflection of how much I trust them. It's a reflection of how much less I trust everything else. All right, 𝐂𝐽. I don't even know if you guys want to look at it, but 𝐂𝐽 close to 6.5 cents here. I think this is a major level that it's going to look to tap. It came just close, the same way Bitcoin did to 93.3. I think we'll likely see Bitcoin hit 93.3 like over this weekend, into the end of the month, and 𝐂𝐽 probably going to make that same move, probably to 6.5. Not really an unexpected thing here. We were looking for this area. This week is now kind of selling off into the end of the week. I'd like to see a close above 5.82 cents. Got this bearish order block or fair value gap, whatever it is, right here. There's a lot of resistance liquidity here. It's good that it was able to at least retake 5.2. Close above, I think, sets it up maybe for the higher end of 7.5 cents. This is a good start. It's a good reversal. You have a great bullish engulfing candle on the week. You don't really have any divergence because your weekly low is the low in RSI. Money flow, momentum, potentially reversing here with VWAP. Like, this is a good start for sure. 𝐂𝐽 looks better now than it has looked in some time. Quite some time. 𝐂𝐽 is like really bad. Don't love that, but it is what it is. Right to the weekly TK, right at that order block. There's some confluence there. Of course, the Kaijun at 7.5, essentially. Wild. If you do close low on 𝐂𝐽 this week, I would keep my eyes out over the next few weeks for a higher low. Higher low may mark a stronger reversal going into the end of the year. Something like this. Higher low could be 5 cents exactly, right? Something like that. That would be a solid entry. That'd be a solid position to look for. This is right here, man. It's just right at resistance. This is a hard call. Will it break? I don't know. I think statistically, you're at resistance. You look for the short. You don't look to long it at resistance. You look to wait for the pullback long it. I'd take a short over long, but I don't think I would take the short in general. I think that the likelihood of 6.5 can look there, or even 7.5 are very strong. The path it takes there can look different, right? Many different ways that can play out. Just be careful. 𝐂𝐽's looking better though. Be happy. We'll look at Dash next. What's up, El Chido, my friend? What's Zout on Solana? What's up, Patrick, Mr. Goody? Why crypto trust is? Yeah, this is crypto. The whole point is not to trust. Speculate on stables by buying Circle. That worked out. This gives me an opportunity to crap on Circle. Holy. Hey, you get a little bounce though. You do get a little bounce though. Let's go Circle. Oh my lord. Circle came within 14 cents of its lowest traded price ever. $100 looks not bad there. $165 for Ultimate Doom. $100 for a little dead cat bounce. I think that this continues. You have, it's honestly the same boat that Bitcoin's in at this point for Circle. You have such inefficient price action down with even just a little sign of reversal here. I think you have a solid shot at a dead cat bounce. I don't think Circle's going back to all-time high anytime soon. But you have very little, right? You just have inefficiency down. Order books are cleared above you. It doesn't take a lot of buying to push back up. Market makers can look to sweep liquidity at previous supports. $100 to the upside. Tap it back down if you really want to get bearish, right? Can even see a little higher up into this zone. Fill in some of this inefficiency. You have some here too as well, but this is like super clear. You can trade all the way up to 100 and have done nothing and just continue your nuke. Circle looks like crap. It looks like crap, but in the short term, I think it's got some more bounce in it. So short term, bullish. Every other term, I think it looks very bad. Dash. Oh my. Dash. Our trade was really solid. Eternal G, if you're still there, did the thing I said I didn't want it to see. Reverse at 767. Reverse for another lower high. That's looking more probable. Follow down this falling wedge. I still think this will break up. The probability of going through 127, I think, kind of gets lower and lower the more this wedge plays out. But I think you do see maybe 96 at minimum. Something. You see something. Maybe you have to test 50. As long as it holds 41, it's doing, it's still in an uptrend. Still, it just gets uglier. Momentum slowing on Dash. Selling momentum slowing. Yeah. Weekly closes, weekly resistance tested here at 53. I just don't like this candle. This candle we're working on is ugly. It's the best wallet to use in Canada, Richard, for like self-custody. Like Trezor, Ledger, it's cold storage. Doesn't matter. Like where you are won't impact what wallet you can use or should use. Really only impacts the legality of trading of crypto, your access to exchanges. Doesn't really impact at all what wallet you would use. That's okay. It's a good question. It's a good question. Yeah, if you have this question, other people will. You're watching live. Thank you, Richard. Can we check Polkadot? What else are people looking at in the YouTube chat? I never looked at platinum or copper. Sir, I am planning for short at 91.6. Please suggest me for education purpose. 91.6. Where are we at right now? That is 0.5% from where we are now. Maybe you're looking at this. These suggest you, but what am I suggesting you for? For what am I suggesting? You didn't really imply what. You didn't really say what. You just said you're shorting at a number. I hate this candle. I wish it would have gone through 93. I know you're looking for a link. People always want to look at link. It's crazy. He wants the magic trade. True. What's Link doing? Link is not moving. I swear. Every day you guys want to look at Link, and every day it's like it hasn't gone anywhere. I still think 17. We're seeing a lot of this coiled price action. A lot of efficiency. We're seeing a lot of this move. It reminds me maybe of Solana, which I haven't looked at. Yeah. Solana doing something similar. It's like this coiled downward price action. Fills it in. Lots of efficiency here at a low. I think that's a reversal. I think Solana will end up looking like this. I think it's going to head back to 190, maybe 170 for called short. Link is the same boat. $17. We'll see what happens. I have alerts on all these charts. Like when things move, wow, that RSI looks terrible, Link. Why do you look so terrible? Look at that. Under 50 RSI on the day for 50 days. That's not strength. It's not strength. I think you get a bounce though. Yeah, bull div on your low. There's your hopium. Weekly momentum is probably slowing down. Probably. Monthly. Working on a monthly bull div. Would be crazy if this month closes at 1334 again. We'll have closed and opened there just so many times this year. It'll be like 3,300 for Ethereum. I got alerts on all these though. Like when stuff moves, you know I'll be talking about it. I'll be the first one. Maybe not. ADA, jeez. 50 cents. This is coming so slow. It is. I'm not gonna lie, these bounces are so slow. They're so much weaker than you'd hope. It almost feels like it needs to rip again, even just retest the lows to get momentum. Where'd Monad go? I guess people are up on Monad who bought it. I don't know if it was IPO, ICO. It's like 2.5 cents. It's down 30% from its high, but it is up 40% from that 2.5 cent mark. I don't know anything about it, so. Monero. Saw me buy a few $1,000 worth of Monero live the other day at 350. It's tapped 420. Again, blaze it. I think this looks good. I still think Monero is going to all-time high this year, and we are running out of time. 𝐂𝐴SPA, gold, platinum. I don't know if you said platinum or palladium now. Why would they have named something platinum and then something palladium? Seems really dumb. Why is this chart so choppy? Is this not like a liquid market? Mm-hmm. 2,150. I don't know shit about platinum. You would think that platinum's value would go up, or is it like easier to find platinum now, right? I don't know. You'd think it would keep up with inflation, which it clearly has not. In 2008, it was at all-time high. It's down 18%. No, it's down more than that. It's down 27% in almost 20 years. How is it not kept up with inflation? How's everything not kept up with inflation? It's weird. Doesn't make any sense. It's like just the things that you think would. What's up? Subscribe. What's up? 𝐂𝐴𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶 𝐴𝐢𝐵. I haven't shouted out any new subscribers. What's up, Red Wickman, Dira J, 𝐂𝐴𝐿 this is over on YouTube. Price Action Trader, Puji Vista, Speedrunners, Nicholas Marr, Lillian Gabriel. Peter Daniels, the Pack, and Brian NG Kobo. Dude, we've been live for a while, I guess. Follow this. What's up? L Boster $. Do I trade gold? I chart gold. I don't trade it though. No, I trade mostly crypto. Chappelle 70 share operations. I'm done, dude. I am done, dude. Dumb. I'm dumbfounded by these metals. They don't make any sense to me. It makes no sense. Like, how has food, yeah, like, and I assume other materials, like, I don't know what the price of concrete is, but I assume concrete has kept up with inflation. So how is it like copper and gold and silver and platinum haven't? And obviously gold and silver maybe now moving back into valuation. But like, you know, as of last year, why are they the only things that like didn't inflate? It's weird. And you can say because, well, we match the 2% inflation target is actually the rough estimation of how much gold is mined every year. So that it should be, okay, you can make that argument, but then why isn't gold just like flat? Why is it just sideways? It should be zero then. If it, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's all weird. What's up, M? Suey. How long have we been live for? An hour and 26 minutes, not bad. On the month now, that kind of reminds me of Link. That's not a good sign. Did we get wrecked? Ooh. Support acting as resistance. That actually is not great. This support broken. 155. Stopped out our trade. Of course it did. Rebounded to the entry. The support. Now it's acting as resistance. I don't love that. I thought this would be a little bit cleaner of a bounce. Oh, sitting with bad posture again, son of a bitch. If this doesn't bounce here, this thing's cooked. You gotta bounce, man. Look at this wick. All the way down to this crazy historical support that it never came back to. Charts are magic. I don't love it. I think that this bounce will continue to play out. If it doesn't, man, I don't know. This thing doesn't look good. Is there a chart for RAM? Dude, RAM is crazy expensive. I was just looking at it. It's wild. Do I trade on Top Step? No. Now, dude, I think prop funds, I think are scams, kind of. Prop firms, I think are scammy. I think most of them are scams. I think some of them are probably not scams, but also their business model is just, I don't think it makes sense. The moment I heard about them, I was like, none of this makes any sense. Like, from a business perspective, it just doesn't add up. And in my lifetime of navigating the crypto space, every time I've thought that about something, it's been a scam. XRP too. Man, this is a really sideways day. I actually understand why our viewership is chilling on YouTube. We only have 750 live. I mean, that's great. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. You've got 2 over on Twitch. Eternal G holding it down. My guy. I don't know how many on TikTok. I don't even know how to look. I think we've had a total of 600 views, which is not very many views. But that's okay. It's a sideways day. How is this so sideways? How many days in November? 2 more days. Ooh, this is cool. The weekly candle. This doesn't always happen. This probably only happens like once or twice a year. The weekly candle closes and opens the same as the monthly candle. So on Sunday, Monday will be a new week and a new month. That's pretty cool. It doesn't happen as often as you'd assume. Get back up, Total. Total, get Cho. Get Cho, booty. Back up. I don't know. I just don't know how this could be the end of it. This doesn't... Like, what? 2021 into 2025. 40% gain. That barely kept up with inflation. Like, this barely kept up with inflation. How's that? And this even includes, like, if you subtract Tether from this, wow, I didn't even think about that. Hold up. USDT cap. Okay. You subtract Tether, and what do you, like, you know, what do you have here? 40%? How is that possible? How is that the same percent? That doesn't make sense. %, 39%. 41%. Okay, so not crazy. Subtract Tether, you subtract other stables, like, I guess they don't make as big a percent as I thought. 39% from high to high, 4 years. Almost exactly 4 years. Something doesn't sit right with me. I think Max Payne is up. I still do. Let's see. The long, my long is up 83.27%. I'm at 90. There you go. There it is. There it is. Okay. We are gonna hit 200,000. This is crazy, man. We started streaming 2019. And let's do this little lesson. 2019. At that time, I never, ever, ever would have guessed that we would beat Bitcoin to 100K. Never, ever in my lifetime would I have guessed that. Damn it. Damn it, Bobby. Here we go. It's hard to do this. It's not, YouTube really doesn't want you to use it this way. I never would have guessed that. There you go. January, starting like June of 2019. There it is. It's like right about when we started. A year later, we had 12K. At this point, I thought we were going to hit 100,000 in 2021. So I was like, man, Bitcoin's absolutely going to beat us to 100,000. 2021 comes. It's the end of the bull run. In November, we have 40K. Bitcoin still didn't hit 100K. All the way up until March of this year. This is the crazy part. Of last year. Wow, time's flying. March of last year, we hit 100K. Bitcoin didn't hit 100K until, I don't know, when was it? The end of last year? No, just November, December. I don't remember. At this point, we'd beaten Bitcoin to 100K, which was wild. Now we're going to beat Bitcoin to 200K. How is this possible? How is this even possible? Bitcoin, get your shit up. How is this possible? I don't know. Because of you guys, because you guys rock. At current projection, we will hit 200,000 when we gained 4,000. We gained 4,000 over the last 28 days. So 28 days from now, it might be at the very end of the year. Wouldn't that be special? We could have a 200,000 New Year celebration. That'd be so special. Oh, my friend called. Who I need to call back after the live. He said, call you in a few. 200,000 by the end. Yeah, by the end of the year. That's pretty sweet. Thanks to you. If you want to be technical, we have way more than that because they're like 60K on X. I don't know, 100 and something on TikTok. I think if I kept posting on TikTok, I'd have easily over 1 million. Take 200,000 followers on YouTube. I'm not even sure what the equation is, but I think is like millions on TikTok. Because we got 150K or something on TikTok without even trying. Without even really ever doing it. This is one, like the first time we've streamed there in a year or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But thanks to you guys, we made it. Made it this far. We're going to beat Bitcoin to 200K. I hope at some point, though, Bitcoin starts beating us to these milestones. That'd be cool. Maybe it hits 200K also. That'd be dope. What if we're at 199 and Bitcoin just like, just boom, doubles overnight, hits 200K? I would get a tattoo the next day. Totals is crypto minus stables? I don't think it is because no, it isn't because I subtracted it and the difference, there was a difference. Yeah, because this is total minus tether. And it's 39.5. And then when we get rid of minus tether, you'll see it's 41.42. So it total includes tether and stables. Read your previous message. Why am I hating Binance over everything? I don't hate Binance. Zcash at 927 in December? Possible. You have Kraken? I use Kraken all the time. Kraken's great. I don't have a link or anything for Kraken, but someone on TikTok, they're probably not there anymore, said, I watched CryptoFace get burned in a long an hour ago. I bet, dude, this trading has been just rough. Bitcoin must close 93.6 or going bearish. I think Bitcoin needs to 93.3, yeah. Or go bearish. I mean, it already is at least the day is in a downtrend. If it's in a longer or bigger downtrend is to be determined. So that'd be like a break of 74. Like from the all-time high, we absolutely have been in a downtrend. From the bear market low, we're in an uptrend. And that literally remains true above 74, I'll say. It's kind of objective, but above 74, this is still a higher low. You can still make a higher high, and it's still an uptrend. But it's certainly in a downtrend on the day. No question there. You have Trust Wallet, X Wallet. What's X Wallet? And X Wallet, I don't know what that is. MetaMask. Yeah, Richard, so like wallets, like you just named, it's just software. How do I do this in the most valuable, simple way? They're just like they're binoculars, okay? Follow me on the metaphor. They're all just a pair of binoculars that you're looking through, that you're looking at your wallets with. Your wallet, your assets are the key behind them. That key can be used in any wallet to view those assets. You don't need a ton of them. If you're doing like, I don't know, you're using decentralized exchanges, you're doing, I don't know, whatever. Maybe you use like MetaMask or something because it makes it easier. But for assets you're holding over time, like long term, you want them on like a cold wallet. You don't want them in the browser. You don't want them like on your phone. You don't want them downloaded on your computer. You want them set up on like a hardware device for long-term holding. Everything else can be used as like a spot wallet. You can use like Atomic, and they're all just different levels of ease of use and what they have built in. At the end of the day, they all do the same thing. The ones that are on your computer or on your browser, on your phone, those are less secure because they're connected to the internet. There's so much more to it in that sense, but knowing that I feel like is the most important thing. It is confusing though. Pump coin. Pump. Falling wedge on day. A lot of stuff's on falling. Isn't like a falling wedge. If you exclude the wick, it's kind of falling. It's like in a channel, yeah. If you include the wick, it's not really a wedge then. You could look at it this way as a wedge. I don't follow pump that much. Maybe it's time we followed it more. Main reason is that when we started looking at it, it was brand new and there was no history. So it's like, what are we going to do? Yeah. Monthly, not a lot. Not a lot of the month. You have one single reversal on the monthly, and that's at 006. Thank you for the $2, by the way, my friend. Excluding the wick is in many ways cherry picking, but kind of just a random low. All right, from the wick low, it's kind of the 618. Am I cherry picking? Yes. I am searching for something and we find it when we do that. I don't even know, man. What, like around here? Probably good possibility 0036. I don't know. It's so hard to look for longs on stuff like this because you can just keep kind of doing this dance until people give up and it's like, oh, I can't long. I keep getting wrecked, and then it reverses. There's no great way on a chart like this to spot a reversal. Like, it's hard. These wicks really mess up charts too. 20 day, 50 day, 100 day. Up here, the 100 day moving average is saying maybe I should be a little more bullish. I don't know. Beats me. I've done a lot of charts at this point. I'm getting a little fatigued. We've been live for TP, please. On what? Fist pound guy over on TikTok. Been live for like 2 hours. When I get approached by projects to shill stuff, is it possible to share those projects? It's possible to share those projects. So, you mean me? I could. Some of the issue is I don't ever entertain it like to a degree where I find out what it is. People will message me and it's like, hey, how much for promotion? Or we want to collaborate with you. You know, like just really generic messages, and I don't reply. If I reply, then the more of them come after me, and they try to get me to like talk to them, try to convince me, try to, you know, bait me, dangle a carrot in front of me, tempt me. That's the word. Tempt me into promoting it. You got approached by True Network. I don't know what that is. The quantity of them is insane. If I had like a full-time employee to do that, to go through like my emails and stuff, yeah, I could do that. But it's not really worth it. Ledger Live work when it generates new addresses each time. What do you mean by that? Does it? You mean how does it generate new addresses each time? I'm confused. Max Payne is up. Read previous message. I agree. Total 3 is a 5% gain in 4 years. That's actually insane. Can reversal stablecoins, in my opinion, sooner or later? I don't know what that means, Benny. I'm not sure what that means. What's up, Star? What's the poll results? Here's the poll. With almost 1,000 votes over at youtube.com/TomCrown. 58%. It's about the same as when I first read it. 58% looking for a better December than November. That's November. I didn't realize I had a typo. November. Not a bad bet. November was pretty crapvember. Thank goodness Upsember is coming. I need it just in time. What's up, Trent B? All right, I've been live 2 hours. It's Friday, guys. Go enjoy. It is Black Friday. There's no such thing as deals anymore, but I guess crypto is the only exception. Everything's on sale. Be careful trading. We will be live over the weekend if Bitcoin, probably if it breaks 93.3. If it dumps, if we see retests of the lows, you better believe we'll be live. We're always live when it's spicy. During the big moves, we catch them. So make sure you're subscribed, have liked the stream, whatever platform you're on, follow along. Consider jumping over to youtube.com/TomCrown, subscribing, enabling notifications to catch the streams. Because when we go live, outside of our normal Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, you don't want to miss them. Another great way to keep up is to join the Discord. It's free, discord.gg/TomCrown. Just got to verify you're a human in a few ways, jump through a few hoops. That's a good way. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I will catch you on Monday at the latest for the new month, for December. On Monday, it'll be December, and we'll have a new week. It's going to be spicy as hell. I appreciate you joining.